Hey everyone, welcome to the first live Q&A. If you happen to be watching this on a replay, thanks so much for tuning in. So let me get some housekeeping things out of the way. I hope there won't be any technological glitches, but when you're live, you never know. So if something goes wrong, I'll try to correct it on my end. If you're signed in on your Google account, you should have access to the chat, and you can ask questions there, and if I have time, I'll answer them live. But right now, what I've set up is I have 10 questions, and these are from people that sent them to me, ahead of time. And so I've prepared for those, and if I can answer yours at the end, I will. But if not, I'll add them to the queue, and if I don't answer them today, I promise to answer them in the next live. If it's something important, you can reach out to me at ellenstipsforios.com, and I'll answer you via email. Right now, I've only opened this Q&A up to people that subscribe to my newsletter. So if you know someone who might benefit, send them to my blog to sign up. I intend to do one Q&A a month, and if we have, if I have a lot of questions, I might add another session. So I think that's all of the housekeeping items. Let me get started with the first question. All right. The first question I received was from someone who wanted to send a large voice memo that they had taped at a doctor's appointment, and they wanted to send it to their son. And they were having a very difficult time doing it. They were unable to do it via text message, and they were, unable to do it via email, but there is a way via email. So let me show you how that works. So as you can see my iPhone, and this is the Voice Memos app on the left here. To get to it though, if you just go to the app library and start typing in, voice, you'll see it pops up right away, and you can tap on that to enter. And as you can see, I have a bunch of voice recordings. If you're not using the Voice Memos app, you're missing out. You can use the Voice Memos app if you have an Apple Watch or on your iPhone. It's really a great app for just recording short things that you can come back to later on. So anyway, let me get back to how to send one. So down at the very bottom, you can see that I have a large voice memo, and it is an hour and 7 minutes long. So if I want to send that voice memo to somebody else, I need to tap on the More icon, which is the circle with 3 dots. And that brings me into an options area. And at this point, I'll tap on Share, and some options appear at the top. If I try to send it via messages, it's not going to go. It's too large. I think this file's about 32 megabytes. But if I use Apple Mail, it will allow me to send it. So let me show you how it works, because we're going to send it via mail drop. So when I tap on that, it brings the voice memo right into the email program. And as you can see, it titles it, the subject, with the name of whatever you titled the voice memo. You can change the subject if you want. The other thing I want to show you is that this, if you notice, is a .m4a file, and that's a standard audio format. So you should be able to send this file to anyone. So somebody on Android, somebody on a Windows computer, you should be able to send it to anybody that you choose to. So I'm going to go ahead and put my email address in, and I'm going to tap on the blue send icon at the top, and you'll see a pop-up menu appears. How do I want to send this? Well, it says I could try sending it as an attachment, but I know it won't go. So I'm going to use Mail Drop, and when I tap Mail Drop, it's immediately sent. So the recipient is going to receive that file, and let me show you how that works. I use an app called Spark as my email app, and I really like it. But there are some things that Spark doesn't do as well as the regular Apple Mail app. But I'm going to open Spark, and you'll see that that email I've received already. So I'm going to tap on it to open. And here you can see that I've received a link to that voice memo that I sent. And this link is good for 30 days. After 30 days, it disappears. So all I'm going to do is click to download. It'll take me into Safari to iCloud, and it'll take me to a download link. If I click on that download link, now I'll get another option. I can view it or listen to it right from here if I don't want to download it to my device, but I do want to download it to my device. So I'm going to go ahead and tap download. And you'll see down here in the URL, you see the download happen, and then a little download arrow appears. Once it's blue, it should be downloaded to your device. I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. And you should have a downloads option appear. You won't see this option if you aren't downloading anything. It won't be there. So I'm going to go ahead and tap downloads. And it brings me in and shows me that download. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And it takes me right to the download where I can tap on play and listen to it from here. Now, we downloaded this maybe for a reason, because maybe at some point you want to get back to that download at some other time. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to tap done to come out of there, and I'm just going to swipe out of Safari. And here is the Files app. And that's where you're going to find anything that you've downloaded to your device. So I'm going to tap on the Files app. And I'm in the Recents tab. And you'll see that that voice memo that I downloaded is right here. And you can click on it from here and listen to it as well. So that's the first question I received today. So let's go ahead and come back and move on to question number 2. And here we go. I'm having a hard time finding the apps on my Apple Watch. Is there an easier way? Well, I believe there is. So let me show you an overhead view of my Apple Watch. And let me come in here so that you can see it. And so if you push on this digital crown, which is the round button next to the Apple Watch, if I push on that, I'll come in to all of my apps on my Apple Watch. And as you can see, they are just a bunch of bubbles, a bunch of icons, and this is the default view that Apple shows you. So we can change that view to make it easier. So if I push and hold on any of these bubbles, we'll come into the view options, and I can change this from list or grid view to list view. And now I can see all of my apps in alphabetical order. So hopefully that helps you find the apps on your Apple Watch that you're looking for. And you can always go back by just pushing and holding again and take it to grid view, and now you can see all the bubbles again. So this is something that you can do on the fly, and it just makes it easier to find the apps on your Apple Watch. All right. So that was question number 2. Let's move on to question number 3. After updating my iPad, the weather widget is showing the incorrect location. How can I fix that? So sometimes after we do a update to our device, the weather widget will revert back to Cupertino, California. And this is the weather widget right here. I don't know if any of you are using widgets. Hopefully you are. They really are fun little things that you can put on your home screen that, allow you to access little bits of an app. So if I push and hold on the weather widget and I tap on Edit Widget, and I come into the location area and tap on Cupertino, now I just need to choose my location. And when I do, my Wi-Fi is going to find where I am, and the location will change to the location of where I am. So let me tap on my location, and then I'm going to tap anywhere outside of the widget, and it should update, and there we are. So I live in Pittsburgh, PA, and so that's where I want my location to show. So if you're having trouble with your weather widget, go ahead, go into the My Location area, change it, and it should update. As you can see, it's pretty hot here in Pittsburgh today. All right, so that was question number 3. All right, question 4. Do you recommend a screen protector for my iPhone or iPad? I have never used a screen protector on any of my devices, but I know people who swear by them. So if you're somebody that keeps your device for a long time and you're worried about dropping it, then you should absolutely use a screen protector. I know people that have dropped their device and the screen protector was the only thing that saved them. So it really is a personal preference. So if you feel like you need a screen protector, you can buy them on Amazon. They're not that expensive, and they may just protect your device. All right, question number 5. How can I quickly access contacts that I call frequently? This is a great question. So let me come back to my iPhone. And let's go into the phone app. So along the bottom, you have these tabs, and one of those tabs is Favorites. And this is a great place to place the phone numbers of people that you call most frequently. And it's easy to get them in there. There's a couple of ways, and I'll show you them. If I tap on the plus sign in the upper left corner, it brings me into my contacts, and I can go ahead and just choose a contact. And when I do, it's going to ask me, basically, how do you contact this person most frequently? So I can choose messages or mobile or video. I'm going to go ahead this time, and I'm going to say mobile. And so now it added John's mobile access to my device, or to the favorites area of my device. Now I'm going to add another contact, and I'm going to come in here to the contacts area at the bottom. And this time I'm going to tap on Mike. And you'll see here there's an option to add Mike to the favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on Add Favorites. And this time I'm going to choose the messaging option. And I'll tap on his mobile phone. And then let's come back to the favorites area. So as you can see, if I click on John, it immediately starts dialing the phone. But if I click on Mike, it's going to immediately take me into messages. So the favorite area is a great way to keep track of people that you contact, whether by phone or by messaging. And you can just add as many people as you want to that area. And then let me swipe out of here for a second and come back into the phone app. The other nice thing is you can delete people from here anytime you want. So if I swipe to the left, the delete option comes up, and I'm going to continue to swipe, and you will not delete that individual from your contacts. They will remain in your contacts. So if I come back into the contacts section, you'll see that Mike still remains inside my contacts area. So just an easy way to add people, that you call frequently so that you can get to them quickly. Another cool thing is in the messaging area, you have an option here to pin your most frequently used, or the conversations that you have with people most often. So you can pin up to 9 conversations here, and it's very simple to do. You can just swipe, tap on pin, and now that person has been added to your pinned messages area at the top. So if you have people that you text message frequently, using the pinned area is a really great option. All right, let me swipe out of there. And that was question number 5. Let me go ahead and come into question number 6. Why won't my screen rotate anymore? I get this question a lot, and I'm not really sure what happens. Let me come over to my iPad. I'm not really sure what happens, but for some reason, either people accidentally hit this, or I wish I knew what caused it, but I don't. So if I swipe down from the upper right corner of my screen to come into the control center, you'll see a little lock with an arrow circled around it, and that is the orientation lock. If that button is red and it says rotation lock on, that's why you cannot rotate your device. And you'll find this lock button on both your iPhone and your iPad inside of the control center. So if you're noticing that you want to turn your iPhone or your iPad from portrait to landscape mode and the device isn't turning as you turn it, check this button. Make sure this button is not red, and if I tap it again, you'll see that it says orientation or rotation lock off. And so that's, like I said, I'm not really sure why that happens, but I've seen it frequently, and I get asked that question a lot. All right. Moving on. Question number 7. How do I know if my iPhone battery needs replaced? Again, this is another really good question. If you come in to your iPhone and you tap on Settings and then scroll until you see Battery, in a few seconds you'll see everything pops up about your battery, but you want to tap on Battery Health. And if you come into this area, you want to check your maximum capacity. The maximum capacity is basically, how well your iPhone is holding a charge. So as you can see, mine's 100%. So it's almost like my iPhone is brand new. I haven't had, it's less than a year old, so 100%, that's about what it should be. But if your phone is showing 90, 85, 80, or less than 80% maximum capacity, then I'm going to guess that your iPhone isn't holding a charge for as long as it used to. And you could take it to Apple, and they can run a diagnostics on it, and you could have them replace your battery. If your iPhone is a few years old, you may decide to upgrade your iPhone. But if you're somebody that, doesn't trade your phone in very often, having them replace your battery is a much cheaper option. I'm not sure exactly what it costs, but it's a lot less than $1,000 iPhone. So that's how you would check your capacity. Now I'm going to come over, one more thing, optimized battery charging. Toggle that switch on. What it does is it allows you to trickle charge your device over time. So it doesn't burn your battery out as quickly because it doesn't charge it quickly to 100%. It does it over a period of time. So I plug my iPhone in every night to charge, and after a few seconds, if I look at my iPhone, I get a notification that says, your battery will be charged after 3 a.m., meaning that it's going to charge it slowly, and after 3 a.m., my battery will be charged. So if you don't have that toggle switch on, I would recommend turning that toggle switch on. I want to come over to the iPad for a second because I want to show you the difference in your battery options, because the battery option in the iPad isn't the same. So if you come into the settings area and you scroll down and you tap on battery, you'll see that a couple of things different. So here you have the option to turn the battery percentage on so that you can see it in the top right corner of your screen. And you don't have that option on the iPhone. I'll show you where to find your battery percentage on the iPhone. But on this device, on the iPad, you can look, as well as on the iPhone, you can look and see what apps are using your battery and determine which apps are really using your battery life quickly. And so as you can see, Chrome is 61% of my usage. You can also look, that is for the last 24 hours. You can also look at your battery usage over the last 10 days. So that's where the battery usage is in the iPad. If I come back to the iPhone, if you want to see your battery percentage, you have to swipe down from the top right corner of the screen to come into Control Center. And now next to the battery icon at the top, you'll see your battery percentage. So those are the differences between the iPhone and the iPad when it comes to battery. All right. Moving on. Question number 8. How can I quickly silence my iPhone or iPad? So on your iPhone, you know that you have a switch right above your volume buttons. You can see it on the left side of the phone here. There's a switch that you can silence your iPhone very quickly. You don't have that option on the iPad. There is no switch. But really the easiest way to silence your iPhone is to swipe down to come into Control Center, and where it says Focus, tap on Focus, and then if you don't see this, I'm going to close this up for a second because usually this is how it appears. When you see Do Not Disturb, tap on the 3 dots, and you have a couple of options. You can silence your phone for an hour, you can silence it until this evening, or you can silence it when I leave this location. Until I leave this location. So these are great things. So like if you go to the movie theater or the doctor's office or, church, somewhere where you want to be on silence, your phone is silent. And the great thing about it is you can put it in for the time that you need it. So if you only are going to be somewhere for an hour, tap on an hour, and then if you forget to turn Do Not Disturb off, after an hour, the phone will automatically turn off Do Not Disturb. Or if you go to the movie theater and you tap on Until I Leave This Location, your phone will be in silence mode until you leave that location. So that's really the easiest way to silence your phone or your iPad for any length of time. All right. Question number 9. How do I turn off password requirements for my for free apps? This is a pet peeve of mine. I don't know about you, but I have a pretty long Apple ID password, and when I go into the App Store, and it asks me for my Apple ID password every time I want to download a free app, it drives me crazy. Because I can understand Apple wanting to make you put a password in if you're purchasing an app. But if you're downloading a free app, you can download as many of them as you want until your device is filled up. And you don't necessarily need to put in your password for that. So let me show you how you can change that option. I'm going to come into the settings, and the same option is available on the iPad. So I'm showing you on the iPhone, but you'll be able to get to that option on the iPad as well. So I'm going to tap on settings and come back to the main settings area of your device, and then tap on your name at the top, and then tap on media and purchases and password settings. And you'll find a little toggle switch here that you can turn off so it doesn't require you to put in your password to download your free apps. Okay. All right. One more question. Question number 10. Do I need to purchase extra storage from Apple? Again, that's a great question, and it probably depends on how you use your device. And so let me show you on my device how I'm using Apple storage. So the first thing I'll tell you is that, let me explain. So what I did was I came into settings, I'm going to tap on my name at the top, and then I'm going to tap on iCloud, and then I'll come into manage storage in a second. Apple gives you 5 gigabytes of free storage for your Apple ID. So if you have an iPhone, iPad, and a Mac, and you're using one Apple ID, which is what you want to do so that all of your data syncs seamlessly between all of your devices, you're gonna use up 5 gigabytes very quickly. So these are the things that below manage storage, I have these toggle switches turned on, and these are all the things that are backing up to my iCloud account. Now, I could probably go through and toggle some of those switches off, but in all honesty, I don't want to do that. I want to back up all of my data to iCloud so that when I get a new device, I just have to restore from a backup, and all of that information comes to my new device. So let's go into manage storage, because I want to show you. As you can see, my iCloud, I have 2 terabytes of storage. Yours may say 5 gigabytes, or if you've purchased extra storage already, it'll say what you've purchased. So now I'm going to tap on manage storage. Takes a few seconds. And so I'm using 108 gigabytes of 2 terabytes. Photos is taking up 42 gigabytes of my data, and Photos is part of your iCloud. So if you want to back up your photos to iCloud, you take a ton of pictures, you're probably going to need more storage. I like the fact that I can view all of my photos on all of my devices. And so for me, I would prefer to spend a little bit of money and get that extra storage so that I don't have to worry about what's being backed up to my device. So if you're getting a message on your device that says your device can't be backed up to iCloud because you're over the storage, then you need to take a look to see whether or not you need to purchase more storage or delete things from your device, which I don't recommend. So if I come in to change storage plan, you have three options. If you're somewhere between 5 gigabytes and 50, for $12 a year to keep your data safe, it's a bargain, and I would buy it. Personally, I think Apple should give us 15 gigabytes of free storage. Google does, but for some reason, Apple, doesn't do that. They only give us 5. So if you're over the 50, then you would want to purchase 200 gigabytes of storage, and if you're over 200, you would want to purchase the 2 terabytes of storage. So I personally always want to be able to back up everything to my device. I don't want to lose anything. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but if I were you, take a look at it and see if maybe, you only would have to bump up to that 99 cents a month. All right, so So that's pretty much it for what I have today. I had 10 questions, and I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A. I know I really enjoyed preparing for it, and I'd like to do this, once a month and see how it goes. And so I'd like to hear from you. If you could send me an email by using the email that I sent you this morning and tell me what you thought of the Q&A, and let me know if there's something that you think I could improve on. I'd be happy to listen, and I'd love for you to send me questions. I have a bunch still, but I'd love to get more questions from people so that we can do this more often. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and so I guess I'll sign off for now the way I normally do. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.